Just like the fans had a pretty proper introduction to Anakin Skywalker coming into Ahsoka, because now, if you've been watching this, guys, and then this is a little, this is our geeky time. We're talking a little Star Wars, but, the new episode came out, and for me, I'm like, finally, we're getting into the nuts and bolts of what this series is, and it's about Ahsoka trying to figure out how to be a Jedi Master, have a Padawan, figure out, like, how to deal with her past, where she's going forward, and to me, even the lightsaber battles in this were a lot better. Like, I don't know what it is.
Hell yeah.
Hayden Christensen's like, I fucking know how to use a lightsaber. Back the fuck off. I got this shit. I've done this enough in my life. But it came out, Shadow Warrior Part 5, and all these flashbacks, the Clone Wars. My question came out to me when I was thinking about this. Like, will this actually, like, save Hayden Christensen's whole idea of being like, people said he was bad. People have always hated on him for his performance as Anakin Skywalker in the prequels. Now, of course, since Kenobi came out, since they've been adapting the untold stories of Star Wars, the in-between methods, I feel like that people are getting more on board with him as being Anakin, and then this too, it's like bringing in scenes from the Clone Wars cartoons and actually having him perform it now with Ahsoka. It's pretty cool. And the whole thing where they're actually in the Clone Wars and it's like red and it's misty and people are blowing up. And I was telling Mike for the show, like, I know he didn't see this, but like as Anakin's walking and fucking hitting people with his lightsaber, like it flashes and he becomes Darth Vader. And now he's like hitting bitches with his other lightsaber. It's red now and he flashes and he's Anakin, like just hitting bitches again with his lightsaber. I'm not gonna say it again, but to me, it's really cool. It's cinematic. I understand, because this one came to theaters. Top of this last week, it came to theaters. So people could actually watch it. So 52 minutes long, it's a short movie in a lot of ways, and it tells a lot of backstory. You probably got like 20 minutes of Anakin in this, but does this save him? That's the question. Does this change how we look at him, or will it just like a flash in the pan, and will be bigger? Because I feel like he might come back more. What do you think, Sean? Do you think this is just a start of what we're getting, or do you think that this is it's just a blip?
No, I do hope and I do believe that this is just another stop on the Hayden Christensen and Anakin Skywalker redemption tour. I don't think. Thank you. Yes, all aboard. Get on the bus.
Question mark?
Right? Get on the bus. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, no, I think he wasn't given the best material to work with it. I think that he was probably given the wrong direction into how to approach the character, especially because of just how iconic Darth Vader is, and people knew who Anakin Skywalker was in terms of what that character represented and what it could be. But I honestly think it's okay that, we got a young punk kid, we got someone that had some inner turmoil, that showed the issues of the Jedi, trying to get rid of emotion and earthly connections and all, or not earthly, but you know what I mean, connections and all that kind of shit. Like, I thought he did fine in them. Like, obviously it wasn't the best thing and he got lambasted fine, but like every other time that he's approached it, this character now, he's done so with reverence and respect. And again, as I mentioned this, I'm a big comic book guy. I go to a lot of comic book conventions. Hayden Christensen did a ton of fucking tours back in the day, even before, Obi-Wan Kenobi, even before this show. He was always there, willing to meet fans, willing to take pictures with them. And, I think he cares a lot. He recognizes how polarizing, his performance was, how polarizing the character is, of course. And honestly, like, I got a lot out of this episode, and a bunch of that was because of the work that he put into the coma ghost experience of Anakin Skywalker in this episode. I was pretty impressed, and yeah, I hope we get more of him. I hope that he gets his due in terms of being appreciated as for what he has done and how much of a integral piece of the Star Wars legacy that he represents. The lore, exactly.
Yeah, Chris, you check it out.
I don't believe you, Chris. I don't. There's no fucking way. There's
also
no
a show, not
way.
a movie, just to clarify.
and this was a show, but yeah, there's the movies. There's so much Star Wars, but yeah, I think that this is like a good time to be Hayden Christensen. To give him a chance to actually find his footing again, and people to respect his body of work. And I think people are also apologizing for their hate on the prequels a lot of time too. It's just happening more and more. But I think he freaking killed it. enough. That just takes. Yeah, you're right. It just takes time.
This
really
episode, tied with episode 4, has really revitalized, I think, my interest in the show. Sabrina, you're someone who has mentioned previously that, like, where's the young preppy or peppy kind of Ahsoka Tano? Where's that? Well, we got to see why she is in that, right? Yeah. I mean, she was forced into growing up in this warrior set, which the Jedi had not been previously before this, and that's all she knows. And she had to grow up and cope with the horrors of war. And this is the first time we really got to kind of see that, given the respect and deference that it deserved. And I think it makes a lot more sense now. The actress's who's Rosario Dawson's performance.
Yeah,
I think it gives it a lot more grounding and reality in terms of, like, what she had to go through and where she is now. Like, I thought these scenes were really pivotal to her character development, and I'm excited to see where it goes. I don't know if flying into a whale's mouth is what I needed to see at the end of it. But I'm excited. Could have been a whale's vagina. I mean, we've never seen what another. We've never seen what another galaxy looks like in Star Wars. So I'm excited to kind of see what episode 6 is at this point. And but yeah, Hayden Christensen's doing great, and rah Hayden Christensen. Sorry.
Yeah, make it happen. Sabrina, do you think this will be like a renaissance for his career now, coming back and doing this role? And do you think that diving into this past will be something that will push forward and bring him back into more episodes moving forward into this series? I mean, we only have a few episodes left, but do you think this is just the breadcrumbs of to come?
I mean, I don't know. I feel like kind of playing Anakin way back when kind of stunted his career quite a bit. Because
absolutely,
yes,
the reception that he got for playing Anakin, and like, it just he kind of like was stuck in time, and like, so I think that's probably why he was so active in Comic-Con and stuff. And I think his dedication to the character maybe is part of the reason why they wanted to bring him back. That's obviously all speculation, my personal opinion. But I think when they brought him back in Obi-Wan, he like that scene where he was fighting Obi-Wan was like epically amazing, and it's really a lot of what I was missing in Ahsoka. Like the lightsaber scenes were abysmal. Like it just seemed like the cinematography didn't seem that great. The choreography didn't seem that great. Like it just seemed very like laissez-faire, which is not what we're used to watching Star Wars. So I think that really put a big spark under him. And under his playing Anakin or Darth Vader, whatever you want to call it. And I think that this was exactly what people needed to see from him. And I appreciate Sean saying too that it like explains her character a bit. And to be fair, like what Jedi have you ever seen that's bubbly and excited? Like none.
Yeah, really. You don't. So you're right.
I guess that it all really does make sense. Just going from Clone Wars to this, it just seemed like a bigger jump, and I just felt like she was just so emotionless, like completely void, there wasn't like any bit, and that started to happen last episode. And then this episode, obviously, it's a definitely, not an origin story, but it explains all the things we didn't know, and it brings him back into the fold, and it shows her that she needs to be a better teacher to Sabine, and I think that's gonna be a whole nother trajectory. I do agree with the whale's mouth, but they did thoroughly explain that last episode, like with that they travel and I mean, there's more unbelievable things in Star Wars. So like, I don't really hate that. As I don't. It's weird, but I feel like it's par for the fucking course.
It's true. Mike, do you think that the best way to travel through space is through a whale's mouth, or do you think there's a better way of transportation to make your way through galaxy to galaxy?
Well, I prefer a manatee's mouth.
That's the Mike impression, Sabrina. No, you're dead on. I'm a mega manatee fan.
It wasn't you. It was just a question. That was just a voice I made. I'm sorry. I was not trying to be you.
I know. I'm really concerned about the pressure dynamics. Like, how does this whale like keep a breathable environment inside? Like,
haven't you seen Pinocchio?
Yeah, or hyperspace.
Well, he's on planet Earth though. Pinocchio was an Earth whale, not a space whale.
Space whales are even more habitable, bro. There's more oxygen in there. It's even better when you're in space.
Hit me up on Xbox Live. My tag is Space Mammals, so I know what I'm talking about when it comes to space mammals. I haven't seen any of this. I've been doing other kinds of outer space piracy all week, like Star Fox, Brian.
Oh my God, don't
Star
say that
Fox.
again. We're gonna get in trouble.
I got in trouble for the space pirate comment pretty bad.
Come on,
he's not a space pirate. I'm like, sorry.
Space
Your friend of the show.
Starfields came out, the new game from Bethesda. So I've been cranking on that. You said you said on episode 5 you said he's chopping bitches left and right. Like
they show the Clone Wars. They show the Clone Wars. Actually, you can tell there's like soldiers running and stuff, and then he's just deflecting like laser fire, and he's chopping people, and then he's talking to her and trying to teach her a lesson. They have a very heartfelt moment before that he goes back into the battle to being like Sean was saying, like you're learning how to fight. And she's like, why is that all has to be like, when I teach my Padawan the same thing, learn how to fight? Isn't there more to this? And he's like, not right now, because there's a war going on. So that's what we're doing. We're training to fight the battle. And so like you get this really dynamic of why maybe she never got her full training, and maybe why she's so bitter about things, and how maybe she's secluded because of all this, because she learned during a war when all it was like defend, as opposed to actually like all the other Jedi stuff like Luke went through, you know? So Disney
wants to just slow roll on all the hyper action stuff for Darth Vader, because they don't want us to get totally burnt out on it. So I really like that approach, like the mama bird just dripping it onto us little babies in the nest. I appreciate that. But maybe in this episode, he'll chop some of that Canadian away and get some of that American red lightsaber aggression that we need for a Darth Vader character.
Maybe they'll show him become more of that. But we don't even know who he is in this. It's like the world between worlds. So is he actually Darth Vader? Is he some other being impersonating him?
It could be a memory that he's having even. Who knows?
Yeah. It's very vague.
I think it's in her mind.
I kind of interpreted it as her in like a forced coma kind of thing, and this is just kind of
she's replaying
exactly the way like her mind had to kind of convince her to wake the fuck up, basically.
Yeah.
I don't
wake up, smell the roses.
I don't
and
think
have an epiphany
again. Yeah.
How do space whales work?
They're called
they fly in the atmosphere.
Purgles.
Purgles. They are purgles.
Purgles.
Okay.
They do make those sounds though. They do make the good solid whale.
They do make a whale sound. Yes.
It's fantastic.
It sounds like that sound in space.
I don't know, man. I don't make the rules.
Maybe the wind acts as the water does. Like the wind acts as the water does. Like, and so it's the same process, but with wind instead of water.
Their asses glow blue, and then they can hyperspace. I don't know.
I mean, that makes sense at least.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
You didn't have the blue.
How we
obviously.
all do it.